But Mark, let's finish up the rankings 1 through 8. And if you're just joining us on YouTube with the individual segments, first off, welcome into the Onside Kick. And we are continuing our kicker rankings for fantasy football. If you haven't seen our 9 through 16, go and check those out. But let's go through 8 through 1, starting off at number 8, Chris Boswell, the kicker for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then at number 7, Eagles kicker Jake Elliott. At number 7, the Saints kicker, Will Lutz. Then at number 5, the 49er, former Bear, Robbie Goodasgold, coming in at number 5. Then at number 4, the Ravens kicker, Justin Tucker. Then we've got Matt Bryant, the kicker from the Falcons, at number 3. Steven Gostkowski, kicker for the New England Patriots, at number 2. And then Greg Zuerlein, kicker for the Rams, at number 1. And the first thing I want to start off with is we had a tie at number 1. We had to settle that. And we settled with Greg Zuerlein because I think
3 ties in this top.
We did, but you conceded to me. Let me win the Greg Zuerlein battle. I want to ask you why you have Steven Gostkowski ranked above Greg Zuerlein.
For me, it's pretty simple. I trust the Patriots more than I trust the Rams.
Okay.
And yes, the Rams were one of the highest scoring offenses last year, but the Patriots were one of the best offenses as well. So there's plenty of touchdowns going on. But my question is, Jared Goff was not a rookie last year, but this is the first real year where people had tape on him. Are we going to see a noticeable decrease in his production now that different teams out there, their defenses are going to say, yeah, now we know what to expect out of this offense. McVay was new. Now we know what's going on with the Rams. Are the Rams going to take a step back or even closer to a step down to reality? I know that the Patriots are going to be good. I always know the Patriots are going to be good. I always know that Steven Gostkowski is going to be a good kicker. There's no doubt about that ever in my entire mind. The entire mind that I have. I don't know why I said it weirdly like that.
Your entire mind.
Yeah. I'm thinking, I don't know.
Because it's a hive mind.
Yeah.
You got a hive mind up
It
here.
is. Me, my dog, and my wife.
It's all just in here.
Exactly. So that's for me why I have Gostkowski a little bit higher. It's that sure thing kind of bet.
Can I be blatantly honest?
Sure.
If you draft either of these guys as the number 1 kicker, you're going to have a good year.
Yeah.
You're going to have a good year from your kicker. Like, for me, the only reason I slightly put Greg Zuerlein ahead of Steven Gostkowski is if we look at last year, I expect the numbers to be virtually the same at the end of this year, where they're both going to have the similar number of extra points because both their offenses score the ball. They're both going to have the similar number of kicks inside 1 yard to 39 yard. The slight average I give Zuerlein is kicking from distance. And the only reason I give him that is because he might have to kick. Like last year, you look at the numbers. 21 kicks inside 39 yards for Zuerlein, 25 for Gostkowski, and Gostkowski was perfect. Didn't even miss inside of 40 yards, 39 and below. Then you go 40 to 49, 12 of 12 from Zuerlein, 8 of 11 for Gostkowski. Then the above 50, and that's what I'm looking at. Where Gostkowski was perfect, 4 for 4. That's great. But Zuerlein hit 2, like he had 3 more attempts and hit 2 of those attempts. He only missed 1 from beyond 50 yards. So for me, that's where I give the slight edge to Greg Zuerlein of, all right, this kicker's going to get slightly more kicks from beyond 50, and depending on what your league does, most of the leagues that I've been in award you for longer kicks. And I'm looking at that, and I'm going, Greg Zuerlein's got the boot, and he's going to make more kicks beyond 50, which may help me out more so than Gostkowski. Although if you draft Gostkowski number 1, it's not like your kicker is going to be a bad kicker throughout the year.
Yeah, it certainly could help you. And like I said, you never really know what people are doing. I've been in leagues that have done both, that have given you more, and some leagues where there's like, nope, guy kicks it good, and you get a point. That's it. And yeah, like you said, it really doesn't matter that much. Either one of these guys are going to be very successful for you.
Here's the thing I want to ask you is, what were you thinking when you put Robbie Gould as low as you did? Because here's what's going through my mind.
Sure.
Is basically you look at his year last year. Every single game up until week 10, he only had the most he ever kicked in a game was 5. And then besides that, most of them were ones. Like from 6 to 10, he had 1 make a game for those games. Then after the bye, so week 12 on, basically, spoiler alert, once Jimmy Garoppolo was that quarterback, like the last 5 games of the year, 15, 17, 24, 8, 11. Like, for me, I feel like looking at your rankings, maybe I have him too high at 3, but I feel like Robbie Gould is going to be a top 5 kicker just because of Jimmy Garoppolo being the quarterback of the Niners and what position he's going to put this offense in.
To me, it's another one of these. One, I'm
Boomer
pumping
bust.
the brakes on the hype of the 49ers a little bit. But 2, it's we've seen, sure, what was he, 6-0? People
Hasn't
have
lost a game, baby.
Sure. He'll lose one this year.
Hasn't lost a
He'll
game.
lose a
No,
few.
he's going to go 16-0, baby. 19-0.
18-1.
Super Bowl for the Niners.
Perfect
19-0.
season, baby. 18-1. I really expect that step down, that hype to come crashing in. And I don't. And like I said, it's not a ranking. It's a draft. Where I feel like I can draft these guys. And for me, I just don't have that much confidence because people love Jimmy Garoppolo, but the supporting cast around him still is not that great. This team still isn't that good. This is a team that very well could have been 0-16 last year. They probably could have been without Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, the flip side of this is going to be, of course, that I actually think that this is an offense that might stall quite often. And nothing against Jimmy Garoppolo or anything like that, but just like I'm saying, the supporting cast isn't amazing out there. So it might be someone that helps.
Kicks if they stall in the right spot.
Exactly. It might help Robbie Gould. The flip side, though, that I always got to put a little bit of my own bias out there is I'm a Chicago Bears fan. I've seen the greatest days of Robbie Gould.
You've seen
and
the
I've
worst
seen the
days.
worst. And, he looks like he's back to old form, and that's great and good for him in that case. But part of me is going to, of course, be a little bit worried as a Chicago Bears fan that he might go back to that missing pretty much every other kick.
I mean, let's be completely honest. When Robbie Gould left, because last year, if we're looking just stats, he had the best percentage by like 0.1.
Yeah.
And he made the most field goals last year by 1. But when he left town, and I got to look up what year that was because I am not a Bears fan.
2015.
That was 2015. I remember basically it seemed like Chicago was going to riot. Like, what? Why are we getting a Robbie Gould? Why are we getting rid of him?
Because he was not good.
Is this
year.
a decision that we have to make?
2014 was the bad year.
Yeah, and then 2015 he kind of had a better year. And then they just let him go. But I mean, with Robbie Gould, I feel like Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be, I know you're saying like, oh, I don't want to hype up the Niners too much, which I get it. We might be overhyping the Niners, but Jimmy Garoppolo don't lose. Like, the true question for me is, this is when it comes to Jimmy Garoppolo. You know how we talk on the NBA side of, or we don't talk, it's basically we listen, people like us, the other ones talk when they say LeBron James and Michael Jordan. Both me and you know the truth. We know the truth that MJ's always better than LeBron James. Of course. But for Jimmy Garoppolo, it's, who am I better than? It's me or Tom Brady. And Tom Brady, 18-1. Jimmy Garoppolo going to go 19-0. He's going to bring this team to the promised land. I'm joking there. They will be a lot better though, and that's going to help Robbie Gould.
When I look at Robbie here, and I'm looking at his field goals, he's had a weird thing go on in the last couple of years.
Good year, bad year?
No. The last couple of years, when he was with New York for 10 games, I mean, he only kicked 10 times, but he made all 10 of them, 100%. Last year, he got 95% of his field goals. That's not sustainable. So people are going to look at that and go crazy about it, but a kicker's not going to be that good. If a kicker is above 90%, that is like a Hall of Fame kicker out there.
I mean, on average, he's in upper 80s. He's like an 86, 87.
And that's good. Yeah,
kicker.
Robbie Gould is a good kicker. He's the best, one of the best kickers in Chicago ever. But I'm saying that people are going to look at 100%, 95% and be like, this is number one, of the kickers. That's not sustainable. That doesn't continue happening year after year.
This is how I view Robbie Gould in your kicker draft strategy. Because of the year he had last year, because of what I expect the offense to take a step forward under Kyle Shanahan and Jimmy Garoppolo, although it might not be a 95 yet again, I almost feel fantasy-wise, depending on how the draft's going, all right, I don't need a Gostkowski. I don't need a Zerline. Would it be great to have one? Yes. But after what I saw in those last 5 games of only one single digit and at least getting double digits in the other 4 of those games to end the year, I would feel confident going, all right, I'm not going to be the first one to bite on a kicker. I don't even think most people are going to have Robbie Gould third. So what I'm doing is I'm buying my time. I'm finding that, all right, I'm hitting off other positions. And then it's like, all right, that third kicker went off the board. I don't want to lose my guy. I'm going to take Robbie Gould and not necessarily have to bite the bullet
and it would
on
be
a
a bad
Zerline,
idea.
on a Gostkowski.
And that's the thing with kickers. People,
because I had him as my
kind of
third.
overdue.
I had him as my third. I would take him 3. I just don't know if everyone's going to value him as that third
and
best
people
off
will
the board.
overrate their kickers and will reach for them. The other thing I want to put out there, and it's not 100% because of the fact that Shanahan was there last year.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Garoppolo was successful last year. But they say that Kyle Shanahan's offense is very difficult to learn. It is not an easy offense. That's why it took Matt Ryan an entire season to learn it.
But Matt Ryan, he is not no Tom Brady, and the closest thing we've probably seen to Tom Brady is a Mr. Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, I'm calling BS on that shit.
He had learned under Tom Brady.
Notice I say BS and then on that shit.
He learned under Bill Belichick.
Meaning he watched Tom Brady play and goes, I wish Tom would help me one of these days.
I don't want to say it, but I will. I find it funny that 2 of the better quarterbacks in the league, Aaron Rodgers and Jimmy Garoppolo, did their starting quarterback help them out? Not really. They watched them. Aaron Rodgers, he watched Brett Favre, and he turned into a pretty good quarterback.
Sure,
I think
he's
a pretty good quarterback.
He's an okay quarterback. I would concede that he's an okay quarterback. I would concede that he is at least average.
The Super Bowl champion, Mark.
But anyways, a one-time Super Bowl champion.
Only once.
And he's no Eli Manning.
Yeah, all you need is one,
2.
though.
But anyways, to say what I'm saying is I don't think anyone would say Matt Ryan is a bad quarterback.
He's no Eli
And
Manning.
I don't know anybody would say, I don't think anybody would say Matt Ryan's Eli Manning.
Yeah.
But I don't think anyone would say that Matt Ryan is dumb either. It took him a whole season to learn that offense.
Yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo, he has a head start because he had those 6 games. But I wonder if it'll be a little bit of time learning this full thing for him that maybe slows him down a little bit.
At this point, I would say...
Which will, of course, potentially help or harm Robbie Gould.
The only reason I'm saying no is because
you bought in the hype?
Well, not just that. It's also, this is year 2. I know it hasn't been a complete full year since he's been traded, but let's be honest. By this time,
you should
have some sort of a better grasp of this offense.
Well, yeah, you should have a better grasp, but it doesn't mean you completely know the thing.
Yeah, you're not going to be a master genius, but you shouldn't be fumbling and bumbling out there.
And there's
not
also the
knowing
fact, too,
offense.
that when you got a guy who's traded in, had a week or maybe 2 weeks before he started playing, they don't unleash the entire offense on him.
It's because he's not Rex Grossman. They don't unleash the dragon,
Exactly.
baby.
You say, here's some plays that we know you can be successful with. The following week, here's 5 more plays. I'm underplaying it a little bit. But you do that.
Who's another guy you think we got to hit in this top 8?
Another one that I would say is the Falcons kicker with Matt Bryant.
I had him a lot lower than you did.
You did, and I wonder with this. I mean, I had him at 3. He was my number 3. He was your number 5. Are you a little down on the Falcons' offense
in general? Yeah. I mean, with me, the whole thing is so with their offense altogether. It's they've got Julio Jones. Yeah, they've got Matt Ryan. Yeah,
Julio Jones who wants a new contract.
Exactly. There is that, but it's like they've got these big names, but the thing I find the most interesting is yes, they added Calvin Ridley, but really it's just with the loss of Taylor Gabriel. I wonder what this offense is going to do and if they're going to be able to take a next step under the Steve Sarkisian offensive model. So for me, it's like, all right, he's a top 5. Like, I'll pick him in the top 5 of kickers, but really there are 4 other ones with the Zerlines, the Gostkowskis, the Gold, and even Justin Tucker, who's got some golden pipes as well.
Yeah.
I'll take those guys over a Matt Bryant.
Yeah, I think just with the Falcons, I do trust the Falcons. And even part of it is to, people were upset because Matt Ryan took a step back a little bit. He wasn't getting as many touchdowns, as many yards, things like that. But that's good for a kicker, because he's still going to be successful and get you nearby. Matt Bryant gets to kick it. So this is another one of my stalling type of offenses where I'm all right with that because that makes my kicker better. I don't expect the Falcons to get as many touchdowns, and that's fine by me because Matt Bryant's going to be there. If I'm drafting him as my kicker, I want him then, of course, to be that guy. And he's a guy who I don't think you're going to have to reach. Zerline and Gostkowski, people are going to reach for him, and you're going to be like, this is a round or two too early. Why are you drafting him in the 12th? We don't need to worry about these quarterbacks just yet, or these kickers just yet.
One guy I want to ask you about, because you had him a little bit higher than I did, but you had him in your top 5. I had him at 7. What's going on in your head with Will Lutz and this Saints offense?
The Saints offense is a little bit more balanced nowadays, which I think helps a kicker. Because when it's not just, Drew Brees throwing for 5,000 yards in the season.
But the defense still can't tackle the right guy.
That's okay.
Gotcha.
If anything, that helps if you have that play because that drive ended pretty fast then. And we got the ball back.
Well, that ends the game.
Yeah.
So you're going to get the ball back.
Well, in my theory, I'm all right with getting the ball back in this case if it's going to work for us.
We want the ball, we're going to score.
Whatever works. I want the ball just somewhere where the kicker can kick it and give me some points. But in this case, I'm all right with this. It slows down it a little bit. It's not all on Drew Brees to just score touchdown after touchdown after touchdown.
Yeah.
Now we can get some field goals. Now we can get that a little bit. And I really like the Saints offense. I don't think anything about the Saints really got worse. Saints are just a better team this year.
The only question mark this Saints offense has is, and this isn't going to affect Lutz in any way, I would say, but it's the Mark Ingram injury. They're not injury, the suspension. So it's really, the first 4 games, the offense has a question mark. But I don't see that being like, Mark Ingram's not out there. That's going to be less points.
If anything,
for
people
Lutz.
are going to be scared of him. And he's a good guy you can get a little bit later.
Maybe they stall a little bit, and that leads to some field goals in those first 4 games.
And there's also a thing that needs to be said when it comes to kickers, and this is my rule, my theory, is if you can convince your commissioner to set it up.
So if I can convince you.
If you can convince me, which you can't convince me for this one, because that's not how our draft works.
Okay.
If you can convince me to let you not even draft a kicker.
Okay.
I say go for it.
Well, if we didn't do the draft how we usually do it, which is a unique way for those who are new, I would just be like, do I have to draft one?
And I would let you not. I've always said there's no reason why you should be forced to draft a kicker.
Like, can I just pick one up after the draft after I decide who I don't want on my team?
Exactly. I'd rather get one more running back on a team that it has a big question mark and maybe one of these guys steps up.
Would you let someone run the whole year without a kicker?
Yeah. If you can convince me why.
Do you think that would be a smart business model?
If you can convince me why you don't need a kicker, I'll let you do it.
I'm not saying get rid of the spot in the starting lineup. I'm saying, like...
just don't draft one.
All right, I'm not drafting one in all year. I'm going to keep my kicker spot open. Like, would that be even smart? That's like...
No.
If you get like a Zerline, that's at least 10 points you're losing each game.
There's the theory that works out there. People always think that you have to have all your positions out there. But if it comes to Monday night and you're up 98 to 97 and your quarterback's got to go out there, bench him.
Yeah.
Why are you playing the quarterback? He could throw 3 interceptions and no touchdowns or whatever, and then all of a sudden you're negative points.
And how I look at kickers, especially the ones towards the top, like the Gostkowskis and the Zerlines I'll use, I always saw them, like Janikowski back in the day, I always saw it as these guys are going to get you at least 10. So you're starting each game with a 10-point cushion. Anything above 10 is just extra points for you. So like if you scored 15... you got 5 more points than you were expecting that day because they were just automatic for at least double digits each and every game.
There's a lot of kickers out there where you're expecting 3 or 4 points.
Yeah.
And, it might not matter.
Especially
those kickers
especially during bye weeks in deep leagues.
Yeah.
Like if you're in the rare one that the MVP league did like 2 years ago where we had 20 teams. We had the MVP team and 19 other teams.
Yep.
that means there's only 12 quarterbacks or 12 kickers for you to pick from.
Yeah. And here's the thing with that, too, is the fact of, you know what? You're always going to be better off having someone, not always, but more times than not, you're going to be better having someone on your roster. But like you said,
if I'm up by 1 going into Monday night, I'm benching my kicker because if he misses, I'm losing.
Exactly. You don't want to risk it because Murphy's Law, if it can go, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. So, yeah, you don't mess with that. I just want to throw it out there. Convince your commissioner to not let you draft a kicker, because really, if you're at the end of the, if you're like most people, we're gonna wait till the very last round to draft your kicker, because there's really no reason to draft one before that unless you're getting Zerline
unless you
or
want a
Gostkowski.
Zerline or a Gostkowski. Unless you're like Sean, because Sean's a guy that wants Tom Brady, wants Gronkowski, wants Gostkowski.
Of course,
he wants to link all the Patriots together so he can win, and then he doesn't win the championship.
Of course.
Trade me Leonard Fournette again. I'll have a good year.
Yeah. You know, it's one of those things where it's the same thing with defenses where people used to be like, I got to get that Steelers defense, so I'm going to draft them in round 8 just because, and everyone goes, all right, I wasn't going to draft a defense for like 3 more rounds, but yeah, sure.
Well, it's like the famous story I like to tell where we were doing a fantasy draft and it was the 2nd pick, and I think it was one of the quarterbacks the guy wanted. He went, oh, screw you. I'm taking the Eagles defense at 3. And we're like, all right.
Yeah, have fun.
Like, they were the #1 defense that year, but it's like, all right, go ahead. Like, we're not going to stop you, because he ended up dropping them 3 weeks in.
Exactly. Have fun doing that. That's fine by me. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's interesting to look at these things, because the difference between kicker number 8 to kicker number 12 to 16 or whatever, really they're not that different. It's only really distinct when you're in this like top 5 range of what these differences between some of these kickers are.
Really, it's like top 2, then 3 through 5, and then just down the line.
Yeah. And, you know, obviously with these two, a lot of it's matchup dependent. When your team is going to, or when the kicker's team is going to play a harder defense, if they're going to play a cover 2 defense,
could mean there's more chances for them to kick some field goals.
Yeah, you would love to have a kicker go against a cover 2 defense. Bend don't break. That idea is fantastic for you.
Hey man, you know that fairly well, being a Chicago Bear fan.
You're okay with giving up 3 points.
Tampa 2, baby.
Give up 3 points all day. As long as you're scoring touchdowns, it doesn't matter. You know, and a lot of it is that kind of dependent area. And when it comes to kickers, I don't know. Maybe I should care a little bit more about kickers for my personal fantasy teams, but a lot of times I sit there and I'm like, if anything in our league, we really should care about kickers.
You know what? There is a reason then, because have you ever, since you've joined our fantasy league, like now you're the commissioner of it, because I gave it up because screw it, I don't want that anymore. Since you joined our fantasy league, have you ever won it?
No, I have not won it.
Have you ever won a fantasy league?
Yes.
Like actual fantasy league, not like that everyone gave up.
Yep.
Okay. I just find it funny.
I am a champion.
I find it funny that NAR's like the Mark Weber model of how to run a team.
My team is not that great.
I don't even remember the last time you made the playoffs in our league.
Well, there's a funny story about that. I've not made the playoffs
in our league. I don't think so.
But of course, I also am a fan
because you went through the whole history of our league, too.
I know the entire history of this league that we have. It's insane. Maybe
I'm a champion.
You are
a former champion.
You are. You're on the trophy.
That was my... that was the year that Dave traded me Gronkowski, and I was the Gronk.
Here's the thing that no matter what always happens, except for like, you know, the couple times I've won leagues. My team is always amazing for about 6 weeks. Dominate everybody and then fall off.
And you just
everybody gets hurt. Everybody gets hurt. All of a sudden, Eli Manning's my quarterback.
At least
and we're screwed.
At least you're not Dave. Dave has had a key injury every single year since Tom Brady got injured against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Every single time he's had somebody of a key significant spot. Hell, he had Nate Keating go down when Nate Keating was his starting kicker week 1.
Yeah. I also have a tendency to score some of the highest points, but also give up the highest points. Yeah. I have a tendency to do that as well in fantasy leagues.
I mean, with me, I have already decided, since you have bought our league a trophy, which I do not have yet, but I will. I will have that trophy. When I win it,
currently lives at the Lions guy's house
when
for
I
the
win
rest
it,
of the offseason.
When I win it this year, you know what I'm doing the entire... Because here's the thing I didn't ask you with how the trophy works.
Yeah.
So let's say I win it.
It's like the Stanley Cup.
I get it all the way until the next Super Bowl, right? So even through the regular season?
You get it till the draft.
Oh, okay.
You give it back at the draft because then it's a new season. It's no longer your trophy.
I want to ask you this, and this is me on the internet asking you this.
On the internet.
I want a petition for when I win it this year to, with the commissioner's basically approval, is that even throughout the season, because I would still technically be the defending champion, I want it on every onside kick, just sitting right there until I lose it. If I do lose it,
maybe not.
I just want it right, like, because I'll bring it every podcast right. Like that's my little plan. When I win it this year, when it's
a beautiful
mine,
trophy.
I'm putting it right here.
You've seen
and
the picture. It's
I know.
beautiful.
I'm bringing it right here for these guys to know that their champ is on the podcast. The champ is in.
This is why part of me wanted to go the extra step and also buy rings. Like 10 of them.
The
so
thing
that way
I
people can wear
wanted
them.
was a belt. I wanted like a WWE type belt.
Yeah, I like the trophy's cool.
I know. I'm a WWE belt guy. Bring that in, wear it. I mean, rings would be awesome too, but that's more of like a Ruxin thing. Where
because then you could wear the ring. And I was actually going to do it, and also, like, I was going to just buy like 10 of them,
but then
so I have one for each year.
But then I'd have to wear 10 rings, and like Michael Jordan, my
9, because Mike has one.
My hands would get too heavy. Oh, I'm talking about starting this year. I'd have 10 rings, and it'd just be like, I'm too... Oh, man, my hands are too heavy. I don't want to wear 10 rings. But this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you think down below about our kicker rankings down below in the comment section.
Football. Whatever.
The camera's probably going to die soon. That's why I went ahead and got off with this little housekeeping here at the end. Make sure to check out patreon.com/MostValuedPodcast. If you want to help support the channel, that is how you do it. Make sure to check out the link down below in the description for our store. If you want to buy a beautiful MVP t-shirt, make sure to check out mostvaluedpodcast.com where you can get your MVP each and every day. And then make sure to go on Apple Podcasts and iTunes to give the Onside Kick a 5-star rating and type in a little something about why people should listen to the Onside Kick. Want to thank you guys for watching on YouTube. Want to thank you guys for listening on podcast services around the world. And as always, have a good day, everybody.